third part of this Islamic investigation. Now, as we know, when Britain's been particularly assaulted with mass immigration, I mean, all the sort of Western countries are, but Britain's basically getting the biggest assault, right? And that is due to this reason of its law system, because Britain has a unique law system, right? Which is unique in sort of all the world's law systems, based on precedent and judicial decisions rather than written statutes, and obviously influence many other countries' legal frameworks, right? So this is basically why they wish to attack Britain more than the other countries. Obviously it's small as well, you know, the British Isles is very small, right? And this remains like, obviously we know the Kalergi type of strategy, right? But that takes a long time, right? If they can attack the law system, right, and basically create put a new law system in place, right, then that is a foundational stepping block, right, in the takeover, right, absolutely. So obviously we see here Sharia law, right, which is the Islamic system, right? But bear in mind how, you know, Islam is law, so it's obviously some form of Eastern law. You know, the Islam itself is basically not just a religion, but it's like it has a military system and the legal system and all this type of thing. So it's more than just like a religion, as obviously it's like a system of governance for countries. Right? So it's something which they've created, right, for the purpose of change, the purpose of creating a new society, right? And they've chosen to try and bring it in, right, under various guises, including fear and, you know, the fear and loathing idea, right, which they use, stuff like that, right? As you see here, the Sharia law, right? Again, it's basically a Jewish law system. You know? They've already took our lot of countries, our Indonesia and all that, right? And have that system there, basically for the slaves, you know, for the servants, right? To basically Jewish, to Jewish law, you know. Now we see this thing about the Sumerians, right? It's Babylonia and Sumeria, right? So it obviously has the Jewish connotations to it. This supposedly is one of the earliest civilizations, right? Around 335, which is 1506, right? And these Sumerians, so it's like the Moserians, right? Musa, right? So there's some type of thing there with that, right? The Moserians, in the course of 33, the 10 Commandments. Now, what people often forget, Peter, is that the Isis River, or the River Thames, right, so basically links Oxford to London, right? This is why, of course, like all your politician people come from Oxford University, go on to careers in the Parliament in London, obviously, you know, he basically ran from Oxford, right? And the Isis is basically it means east, you know, it means east. So it's basically like these Muslims have or rather these Poshwik type people have a strange affinity with Muslimism, right? Yeah, they love that Muslimism. Of course, most of them are Jewish as well, right? So you see that this is something to do with it, right? Islam is something to do with Eastern law type of so when they're trying to do away with the law that's already in the Britain, right, the British Isles law, they obviously bring their own Eastern law system in, right, which changes the old law, and then basically gives power to the Jewish peoples, as in the sort of Kalergi strategy for rule, right, this new EU and all that, right. So you see, ISIL is ISIL, right? Sunni Islamist terrorist group, right? Anti-Western. Basically, the whole what you've got now in terms of EU is anti-Western. But you see how they got the fear and loathing idea for this. Right? Same thing. Like this, they're trying to see there's an extremist version of Islam or something and all this. Well, that's the fear aspect, right? What they want you to be scared of. The other aspect is the sort of, the walking around in the pajamas aspect and inviting people into the mosque for peace and all this, you know what I mean? But it's the same thing, it's the same thing. Always the day with these type people. It's their club type idea, right? That, Boris Johnson and the ISIS Beatles, I mean, it's pathetic, isn't it? Look how much these two look like each other, And they're definitely relatives, you know what I mean? They're definitely out of the same family. So it's just a scam, The idea of Islam and all this really is basically coming from these. Obviously, the Charles loves Islam. He was the whole Johnson was trying to make on it was like a fanatical terrorist organisation to be scared of and all that. So it's like it's the scam, fear and loathing. But they're trying to get it into Britain to overcome the common law system of Britain. See all this stuff with the river races, the hotel, It's just an internal club, of theirs. And they just basically having a laugh, like with this idea of a sort of terrorist organisation, what they've invented, wandering around and all that, right? But at the end of the day, they wish to replace law, right? With their own version, their own new society, what they want to build, where obviously, we know it from reading the Kalergi materials. So, see here, idealismus. So you got the Muslim and the Islam. It's clearly based on this. It's hidden code, and this is going to be the ideal person. See, the ideal person to have in Europe. Similar to the ancient Egyptians' idea. Of course, Isis become this sort of Egyptian goddess. It's like a secret society, if you like. You can go to 7 quid on the head. Double 7 quid on the head. Nubia. See, the pronunciation can also be easy or USA, USA. So obviously when they call America USA, it was basically created as form of like a melting pot type of country, for the mixed race idea and all that. The whole place was basically founded on their principles. So basically, you're talking about this thing becoming like the mother goddess over Europe. As exemplified by Mary, you know, on the European Union flag. So it's like this thing controlling all the birth, you know, all the people who've born in this new Europe, right? Come through this, you know, their channels. That's their birth, their controlled birth sort of program, you know. That's what they're trying to bring about. So now you've got all these flags within the European Union. Again, this is like the crown of the goddess, you know, Mary or whatever you call it. I'll worship it idea. It's obviously the same one that Mary was the mother of Jesus idea as well. You've got all these flags with the Council of the Monarchs, the Dictator of the Union, the European Parliament, Prime Minister of Europe, Bull, President of Hemicycle, Central Hemicycle, which is Islamic. See a crack of stuff, you know. Obviously people didn't really realise that stuff, but they say they just think it's like a union of normal people or something. Any chance? Supreme Command. It's this dodgiest organisation going, you know. Here's a European Union Central Hemicycle. I mean, that's, as you can see by the flag, it's Islamic flag in appearance. Louise Weiss Building. Members gather for plenary sessions. So God knows what guns on there. It's strange as. It's something to do with Islamic, you know, as you can tell. Hemicycle, you know, something to do with the cycle of the moon, really. And obviously the crescent moon and the star on the Islamic year thing. So, you know, weird as well. Inside looks like it's all done. It's in a moon-like here, you know, based on something to do with the moon, right? That's the thing on the outside the building, right? Here's the thing, which is a famous lantern, right? It's supposed to be a lantern on the side of the wall, right? So that's a lantern, built great big dome thing inside, which is lit up. It shines through the the wall. So the moon, that's basically a moon idea, right? So we're talking about hex, hexen type ideas. Witchcraft and all that, basically being done from this European Union, you know. And obviously Islamic is a half crescent moon, right? So it's something to do with obviously witch spells and all that. See, if you take this in, you get this Alexander Lukashenko, right? Whether or not this is like an official position or an unofficial position or something, but the loudest one to exist is an authoritarian dictator or something. So it could be, could be an unofficial position what they're allowed to have or something. You know what I mean? Like this European Union is crooked as. It's basically criminal. It's a criminal bloody organisation. You know? It's waging war on Britain. Because Britain has the common law system, which is not European Union law. I showed this one in one of our videos, right, where London basically has this sort of plan to become an independent EU state, right, separate to Britain. And I think they'll probably do it. I think they'll probably do that at some point in the next 10 years or something. And then basically use that to get the rest of Britain back in the EU.